You own 340 machines and none of them have your name on them. Not the vending machines in the break rooms, not the ATMs bolted into gas station walls, not the car wash on Route 9 that's been busy every Saturday for 6 years. You're not on any sign. You're not on any lease. You're just the guy who answers a text about a jammed coin mechanism at 6 a.m. and goes back to sleep after. Nobody at the gym knows. Nobody at your sister's Thanksgiving table knows. The empire runs quiet in the gaps between other people's attention. And the strangest part is how ordinary the beginning was. It starts with a laundromat parking lot in 2015. You're there picking up your roommate's comforter from the industrial dryers because your apartment building's machines have been broken for 3 weeks. While you wait, you notice a guy in a windbreaker unlocking a vending machine against the far wall, pulling out a canvas bag heavy with quarters, restocking 6 rows of chips in under 4 minutes, and locking it again without saying a word to anyone. You watch him do this, and something in your chest tightens, not with jealousy exactly, more like recognition. You think, that machine doesn't know it's Tuesday. It doesn't care if he shows up in a good mood or a bad one. It just sits there converting foot traffic into cash, on a loop, forever. You go home and spend 2 hours on a forum for vending operators, the kind of low-traffic, ugly formatted forum that hasn't been redesigned since 2009. You learn the vocabulary, route density, commission splits, DEX data. You learn that a decent snack machine in a location with real foot traffic clears $150 to $300 a month in net profit after restocking costs, and a used machine costs somewhere between $800 and $1,500. You do the math badly, then you do it again more carefully, and the number that comes out the second time is the one that keeps you up until 1:40 a.m. Your first machine costs $1,100. You buy it from a guy liquidating a small route in Dayton, an older combo snack and drink unit with a dent in the coin door. You place it in a tire shop waiting room after a 15-minute conversation with the owner, a woman named Priya, who agrees to a 10% commission on gross sales in exchange for letting you keep the machine there rent-free. The first month it clears $210 net. You drive out twice to restock it, spend maybe 90 minutes total, and net $210 for that. Your coworker Dan, 2 cubicles over, worked a Saturday overtime shift and made $190. Nobody at the office finds out. You don't mention it. You buy a second machine 4 months later, a soda unit, place it in a community college hallway near the gym entrance. It clears less, only $95 a month, because the location has less consistent foot traffic than you expected. And this is the first lesson that actually costs you something. Location isn't a guess. It's math you have to do before you sign anything, not after. You start tracking foot count manually, sitting in your car outside potential locations for an hour at lunch, counting people who walk past a specific spot. It's tedious. Nobody would call it exciting. But by machine number 7, you've stopped guessing entirely, and your average net per machine climbs to $180 a month because you've learned to read a hallway the way other people read a spreadsheet. By year 3, you own 18 machines spread across 4 counties. And something shifts. You're not managing machines anymore. You're managing a route, a driving pattern, a restocking schedule that takes a full Saturday. The 18 machines together clear roughly $3,100 a month net, which is real money, but it's also the ceiling of what one person can physically service alone. This is the moment most people either stop or make a decision that changes the shape of everything after. You hire your first part-time restocker, a retired mail carrier named Gerald, who knows every zip code in the county better than you do, and you pay him $18 an hour to run half the route. Your net drops slightly per machine, but your available hours triple, and available hours are the only thing standing between 18 machines and 80. The ATMs come next, almost by accident. A location owner, the guy who runs 3 self-service car washes on the east side, mentions offhand that he's been meaning to get an ATM installed in his lobby because customers keep asking for one, and he doesn't know where to start. You go home and spend a weekend learning an entirely new vocabulary: surcharge fees, vault cash, processor agreements. You learn that a well-placed ATM in a cash-adjacent business, a car wash, a laundromat, a bar, can clear $300 to $600 a month from surcharge fees alone, often with almost no ongoing labor beyond restocking vault cash every 1 to 2 weeks. You place your first ATM for $2,400, including installation. It clears $410 in its first full month. You don't drive out to restock it. A cash logistics company does that for a flat fee of $45 per visit. And you realize sitting at your kitchen table doing the math on a napkin that this asset class requires almost nothing from you at all beyond the initial placement. By year 5, you own 11 ATMs and 34 vending machines. Combined, they clear just over $9,800 a month net. You still have your day job. Nobody at that job has any idea. Your manager, a woman named Cheryl, asks once during a performance review why you seem distracted on Tuesdays, and you tell her you've just had trouble sleeping. That's not entirely a lie. You have had trouble sleeping. You've just also had trouble sleeping because you're up until midnight reviewing DEX reports from a soda machine in a tire shop 3 counties away. The car wash comes at year 6, and it's the first purchase that actually scares you a little. A 4-bay self-service car wash on Route 9, listed at $310,000, currently generating $94,000 a year in gross revenue, with $61,000 in net operating income after the current owner's inflated expenses are stripped out. You put $80,000 down, most of what you've saved across 5 years of machine income, and finance the rest through a small regional bank that specializes in commercial equipment loans. The first 6 months are the hardest of the entire journey. A pump fails in week 3, and $1,800 repair. Vandals break 2 vacuum hoses in month 4. You lie awake doing math that keeps landing on numbers you don't like. But by month 7, the location stabilizes, the repairs slow down, and the car wash starts clearing $4,200 a month net on its own, more than your entire vending route did in its first 3 years combined. Your accountant's name is Rosalind. She's been doing small business books for 22 years, has seen every kind of chaotic LLC structure a person can invent, and does not impress easily. She reviews your consolidated statement for the first time in year 7, sitting across from you at her office with a space heater humming under the desk because the building's furnace is unreliable in February. She goes quiet for almost a full minute reading through it. Then she looks up and says, this is one of the most boring portfolios she has ever reviewed, and she means it as something close to awe. 11 ATMs, 41 vending machines, 1 car wash, no branding, no logo, no pitch deck, nothing that would ever appear in a local business journal. Just $17,400 a month in combined net income, arriving whether you show up or not. There's a guy at your cousin's wedding who corners you near the bar. He runs a marketing agency, wears a blazer that doesn't quite fit right in the shoulders, and talks about his client roster the way some people recite scripture. He asks what you do. You tell him you have some vending machines and a car wash. You watch the calculation happen behind his eyes in real time. The sorting, the placement, vending machines. Quaint, a hobby maybe. He smiles, says that's cute, and pivots towards someone else at the bar within 4 seconds. He has no idea that the boring hobby just cleared more last month than his agency's entire 3rd quarter. You don't correct him. The moment he stops paying attention to you is worth more than anything he could have said next. Your brother Marcus calls you on a Wednesday in year 8. He's been running a small mobile detailing business for 3 years. Good work, loyal customers, but he's stuck. He wants to buy a used mobile unit, a trailer rig with pressure washers and water tanks, and he needs $22,000 he doesn't have. You could send it before the call ends. The number to your current balance sheet is roughly 9 days of combined machine and car wash income. It would not register, but you don't send it. You sit with the phone against your ear, and you feel the specific weight of knowing exactly what you could do and choosing something slower instead. You ask if you can come by Saturday morning with a notepad. You go through his numbers with him for 3 hours, find that his pricing hasn't moved in 2 years despite fuel costs rising 40%, and help him restructure a payment plan with a local trailer dealer that requires no outside capital at all. He signs for the trailer 6 weeks later on his own financing. He calls you the night he picks it up, voice cracking a little. You never tell him what you could have written the check for. The email arrives on a Thursday at 6:50 a.m.
You're standing in the aisle of a restaurant supply store, not for yourself, but because one of your vending locations needs a replacement coin mechanism, and the distributor's shop is inside this building for some reason nobody has ever explained to you. You're holding the mechanism in one hand, comparing it against a photo on your phone to make sure it's the right model, when the notification slides down from the top of the screen. Subject line, Q4 Consolidated Summary, Final, from Rosalind. You almost swipe it away. way, something in the preview line stops you. Your combined net worth across all holdings, machines, ATMs, the car wash, and 11 years of reinvested income has crossed $41 million. You stand there under the fluorescent lights of a restaurant supply store, holding a coin mechanism that costs $34. Somewhere behind you, a forklift beeps as it backs into a loading position. A man in an apron is stacking cases of napkins onto a pallet. Nobody looks at you. Nobody knows. The forklift doesn't know. The napkins don't know. 11 years of Tuesday drives to a tire shop in Dayton, Saturday mornings restocking soda machines, a car wash pump failure in month 3 that kept you up at night. All of it collapsed into a number sitting quietly on a phone screen and a hand still holding a $34 part. You had imagined, somewhere in the back of your mind, that a moment like this would feel different, that there would be some shift in the air, some acknowledgement from the world that something had changed. Instead, there's just the low hum of refrigeration units, the smell of cardboard, and a stranger 3 feet away debating between 2 brands of disposable gloves. You put the phone back in your pocket. You pay for the coin mechanism in cash. You drive to the tire shop, install the part in 11 minutes, and Priya, the same woman who gave you your first location rent-free 11 years ago, asks if you want a coffee while you're there. You say sure. You sit in the waiting room of the business that started all of it, holding a coffee in a paper cup, and nobody in the room has any idea what just happened on your phone 40 minutes ago. The empire doesn't announce itself. It never has. It just keeps running, quiet and unowned in any way anyone could point to, machine after machine, block after block, while the rest of the world walks past it without looking twice.